joining us and Luxe Insider with me, Anita Khatri. Horology Futurology. What is this all about?
This is about the future of our industry, and in a way, we live in a very different world compared to just a few years back. A lot of things are happening. Conflicts everywhere. Post-COVID world where everything has been reset, and of course it has an influence on our clients and how we perceive the world. So the idea was to gather the executives of the industry around a theme that is really central to our lives, and how can we project ourselves into the future. This is really out about this.
This forum happens once in a year, and do you other than forum, we know foundation has many other ways. If you could explain our audience, because only one forum during a year is not going to bring about the revolution in the watch industry.
That's for sure.
What would you say on that?
I would say that it's a start. We have plans to expand the forum also in other markets.
Okay.
Right now, the one-day forum is followed up by local masterclasses. So the idea is really to get deeper into each theme that we develop each year. So last year we had 2 masterclasses on sustainability, which was the theme from last year. We plan to have at least 2, maybe 3 masterclasses about the future of retail and clients. But on top of that, the idea is also to export the forum either in other markets or through other existing watch events. So it's a matter of developing this activity that is quite important for the FHH. But this will happen with time, like everything, right? So we need time to expand this operation.
Yes, indeed. That was one of my questions, was that once you have finished doing forum on sustainability, and today is futurology with horology, how do you come to a conclusion of what topic is the most relevant? And who decides that?
We decide that among the team, and the idea is to be relevant with with what's happening in the world.
Okay.
And so after the forum, we will reconvene and say, okay, what can be put forward? What are the questions that are in everyone's mind that need to get an answer? This is how it works.
Have you seen the watch consumer changing? Because you have spent more than 2 decades in the watch industry, in this very, very role of fine watchmaking. Have you seen consumer getting evolved, and what are the changes that you have seen?
Well, the changes have been massive. Mm-hmm. And I would say the most massive change, of course, the evolution of the customers has also followed the evolution of technology. Mm-hmm. So digital was a big subject over the last few years, starting from having information on the web. Like 20 years ago, web was just starting, and information about watchmaking started spread, and therefore the consumers were more and more informed, and that was actually raising an issue in the point of sales, because the distribution at that time was very classic. It was like retail and wholesale. There was no online distribution, so people going in the stores, the consumers were more knowledgeable than people selling the watches.
Correct.
And this has prompted also the foundation to develop a whole range of trainings, and we developed our FHH Academy according to this. And then with the social media, and then with the COVID, it has been a massive change, bringing into watchmaking a new generation of clients. And so a lot of clients now were not clients 3 years ago, and most of them have limited knowledge about watchmaking, and this is also very important to educate them in a way. And so we have more and more requests for our training courses from final clients since a couple of years. That wasn't the case before. Okay. So I think customer-wise, not only are they engaged in more online activities, online buying, social media, etc., but they also need to get educated about watchmaking, because we come to a generation of people who are actually eager to know what's behind the watch, what's inside the watch, where does it come from, what's the DNA, what's the history. And so a whole generation of new buyers, younger buyers that weren't there even 5 years ago.
So those changes, yeah, I totally agree with you on that. And foundation therefore is investing a lot towards the training, if I may say so.
Totally. It's very important. It has always been, and actually the very onset of the foundation was about training, education, and basically a better customer is a more informed customer.
Correct.
And so the idea of bringing the foundation as a non-profit organization that is informing in a non-branded and neutral way was actually a complement to all the brand's efforts, because we have nothing to sell. Well, we can actually sell knowledge in a very relaxed way, and it has an increased resonance, especially since the few last years, as I told you before.
So I'm sure you have certain expectations from this forum today, which we are going to see. What are your expectations?
No, I hope we can shed a light on this ever-changing world and what it actually implies for our brands. How should they engage with their customers that are increasingly schizophrenic? One side, they embrace fully the digital revolution, artificial intelligence, and on the other side, they are also engaging more and more in experiences in brick and mortar shops.
Correct.
How do you cope with that as a brand?
Yes.
So the idea is to set the tone and continue to discuss about this subject in further master classes that we are going to organize.
I do remember one of the forums we were discussing during digital era, or when it was just kickstarting, that what is the future of mechanical watches versus smartwatches.
Mm-hmm.
And very clearly the forum did give us enough clarity in communicating and carrying forward the message to explain to the consumers. I would imagine that's what also the contribution of forum is for the industry, to have clarity in terms of communication and speaking one language. Am I right in understanding that?
Yes, I mean, we are here for the industry. We want to find ways to help the industry one way or another, because we are not an industry regulator in any way. We are here at the service of the industry, and so these kind of reflections are a way to pause our frenzy world and actually, step back, take some distance, and actually reflect on the things that are happening. We are more and more embarked in, tight deadlines and tasks and travels, and multitasking is the norm now, and nobody really takes the time to reflect. So the idea of this forum is ways to hit the pause button and try to extract ourselves from our reality, to think, to see what's going on, and to take maybe actions that we wouldn't have taken if we would have stepped back.
Taking this opportunity also to understand there have been recent changes in the foundation of Horology. Will you tell our audience exactly what the changes have been?
Yes, you've witnessed the success of the FHH Salon, now Watches and Wonders. It has taken more and more importance, especially since the disappearing of Baselworld, with the arrival of 5 major brands from the ex-Baselworld Salon. Watches and Wonders has taken an unprecedented dimension as really the flagship event in the industry. And therefore, it was also for us increasingly difficult to maintain non-profit education mission alongside a commercial event that was taking so much space. So the decision was taken to really make 2 separate foundations. And therefore, the FHH continues its mission, original mission from 2005, to spread the watchmaking knowledge and culture in a non-branded and non-commercial way. And for the salon, the whole new foundation called Watches and Wonders Geneva Foundation is really taking care of all the Watches and Wonders Salon be it the flagship in Geneva or other events like Shanghai, etc. So now there are really two separate entities.
Okay. Which watch are you wearing out of my? I don't know how many watches do you have, but
I don't have many. This is a Gégère Lecoultre Memovox from the mid 70s. So,
oh, wow.
Pretty much into vintage watches, and so this one is the first speed beat movement. So there was a movement that was ticking a bit quicker than the others, and therefore more precise
more
at the time. Yes, 28,800. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I was lucky to find it on its original bracelet, which is pretty rare.
I want to ask you. You must be having. I don't know how many watches you have, but this year particularly. Was there a most worn watch by you? And if there was most worn watch, why do you think you wore the most?
Okay.
Which one was it? I'm sure it was
I'm actually, thinking about it.
Okay.
And I have a really bad habit of changing a watch every day.
It's not a bad habit, it's a good habit. But you know what? Even I have quite a few watches, and you know that I'm a watch lover. But within the collection, I end up wearing one watch more often this particular year. There could be many reasons. What are your reasons, and which watch you think about it? Are you saying you haven't worn one single most worn watch?
I don't think so.
Oh.
It's it's difficult because when you have the choice, then you change more easily, and depending on the mood, depending on what I'm wearing, then I'm going to wear that particular watch or another watch, and I really can't decide.
Say most worn watch. Okay.
No, I can't.
Okay. All right. What about India? Where does India picture? Is India picturing anywhere in the gamut of things that the foundation is doing or planning?
It's definitely, and the Deloitte study that was recently published shows that India is now, maturing as a watch market.
Okay.
I think it's still early days, and so you and I tried a few years ago to try to implement a few projects there, and it was probably a bit early.
Yes.
And also I see the brands now more committed towards India. So I think it's just a matter of time that we are actually engaging in actual projects in India, definitely.
Yeah, well, we are waiting to see what Deloitte is going to unveil today, and very happy to say that India has been taken into consideration when it is consumers being spoken about.
Yes.
So this is already one step in that positive direction, is what I say, what I think, and hoping for the best.
Yes.
Anything else that you would like us to know about specific about the forum today? If there's anything that I missed out, you could probably tell us.
No. I think you absolutely to the point. The forum doesn't have the pretension to really change the world like tomorrow.
Correct.
It's really the idea to set foot in the reflection, because again, we have a tendency to just jump to the next thing and then to the other, etc. And so it's really having people step back and think, just think, because the distance is, the more frenzy our existence, the more distance we need to take. And so we really fight to impose this forum as a moment of reflection. And when you start the reflection, that's already, a process, a new thinking that has started. You instill a new idea, and then you can develop. But we want to be at the start of the process. That's the idea.
Oh, you're already, and I think I have to congratulate the entire team for the fabulous work, not only with Watches and Wonders, but the entire watch industry per se.
Thank you very much.
Congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you, Anita.